All right, my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I wanted to do my official review for the Thrustmaster T598 that Thrustmaster sent out to me. And thank you, Thrustmaster, for sending this to me so that I can give an honest review and tell people what they can expect and what this product has to offer. So let me go through first and explain things. So this is the Thrustmaster T598 wheelbase. This is the Raceline pedals that come with it. This right here is the sport car race rim that comes with this package. And then this is the hypercar rim. Thrustmaster also sent this out. And then this is the Evo Racing R32 rim that I purchased myself to go with the TGT2. So guys, let me have a sip of my Joe, because this is going to be an interesting video, might I say. So guys, I wanted to take a minute and kind of explain what the Thrustmaster T598 is. Now this is a direct axial flux drive motor. It is it's different from the other types of direct drive motors that are out on the wheelbase. The construction and the way that this wheelbase actually goes together is significantly different. Instead of the magnets and everything running on a shaft, they actually run parallel to a board that has inlaid copper into it, which actually gives it that it actually makes it so there's no cogging whatsoever in this wheelbase. So it feels ultra smooth. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and try to pretend that my Fanatec DD Pro doesn't feel smooth, and I'm not gonna sit here and try to pretend that the Thrustmaster T598 is like the second coming of direct drive wheelbases. Now, in my honest opinion, the claims that Thrustmaster has made for the Thrustmaster T598 with the no cogging, being able to have like an overshoot capacity over the 5 Newton meters constant that this wheelbase does put out. This is a 5 Newton meter wheelbase, and it does feel in line with other 5 Newton meter wheelbases that I have felt. But this one actually feels a little bit more on the, I want to say like this one feels like this is probably the most premium feeling one that I've experienced, you know, from Camus or even next to my Fanatec DD Pro. My Fanatec DD Pro, you know, kind of has like, I mean, it feels smooth most of the time, but the way this feels with a wheel on it is just, is really, it really is second to none. Like it really does feel really good. It feels really smooth. And the overall construction of the wheelbase, it doesn't get super hot. It doesn't heat up very much, even when I've got it maxed out, and I'm like, it feels pretty dang premium. The overall wheelbase itself feels extremely premium. But as you can see right here, it's pretty tall. Like I've actually got it hooked up to a Next Level Racing wheel stand 2.0. There's a link in the description for Next Level Racing. I'm an affiliate with them. So if you use my promo code Froggy24, you'll be able to get a 5% discount on Next Level Racing products. I stand by them. I think they're incredible. I reached out to them. They sent this out to me because I thought this would be a really good wheel stand to display the Thrustmaster T598 on, and to my surprise, it actually works out pretty dang good. Being able to set it lower, because you'll notice immediately if you buy the T598 and you put it on whatever wheelbase that you have, it is going to occupy more height. And that, my friends, sometimes can, like, yeah, when I first put it on, I put it on the wheel stand 2.0, which is the bigger the bigger edition of that can handle a whole lot more weight. That one there, it sits so freaking high that it was like literally in the middle of my screen when I'm sitting here right here at the desk trying to drive with that. And I'm like, my gosh, man, this thing is big. Like, it is tall. It feels like when you look at it, it's almost like, gosh dang, man, it looks similar, you know, in size to like a, I want to say it looks similar in size. Like you look at it when you're just sitting there and you're looking at it alone, you're like, oh man, that's not much way bigger than my Fanatec or anything. But then when you put them side by side, you're like, oh gosh, this thing is definitely a little bigger. So that there is definitely something that you're going to want to take into consideration. This thing is a little bit bigger, and while it doesn't completely it doesn't make the experience bad, but it does put you in an interesting position to where you're going to have to get creative, especially if you want like an eye level screen. You're going to have to get creative on how you're going to place this, and that might be a turnoff for some people. To be completely honest with you, that might be a turnoff for some people. One of the other things while we're on the wheelbase that I want to drag your attention to that I think is absolutely incredible, and to my knowledge, there's not a whole lot of these that actually have this. I know the Logitech one does, but this right here, you have an actual screen on here with buttons that you can get into the menu and set your settings on the fly on this wheelbase. Now, Fanatec does have that, but it is usually through their wheels. So that's something that you definitely want to have, especially if you're on console like the PlayStation 5 or anything else. You'll want that. Having that ability to adjust settings like overall force, feedback, overall dampening, and all of the other settings that you can get into and set up on the wheelbase, those are very good. Now I'm going to do a whole separate video kind of going through like the settings and stuff and kind of where my base settings and stuff are. So I'm not going to dig really deep into that. I don't want this video to be super long. But at the end of the day, when you have that ability to get in there and like set things up, and on the fly, you can set them up on the fly and they take effect immediately. You can sit there and you can fine tune your experience for every game that you get onto without having to get into a menu on a PC or for the most part, there's no other way to set anything on a console because there is no way to get into any apps to set anything up. So that there is an amazing thing. Another thing, guys, if you are going to purchase a Thrustmaster T598, and I'm going to make a separate video for this, in order to use this on a PC, you do have to actually get into the Microsoft Store and download the My Thrustmaster Panel app from the store for you to even be able to download the drivers on your PC to use this. I spent a bunch of time just trying to figure that out. Now, I did find a Reddit. I found somebody that posted that, and I was like, you know what? I've tried everything else. Might as well give it a try, and boom, it worked. Got in there, my base was at 1.83. I was easily able to update that to the 1.98 firmware that it is now, so just keep that in mind. If you buy this and you can't get it set up for PC, I'm gonna make a separate video for that, specifically for that. But if you cannot figure that out, then we'll get you set up, and that's how you can do it. Like, it worked immediately for me. I didn't have any other problems. Before that, the PC wouldn't even recognize the wheelbase as a wheelbase. It wouldn't recognize it as anything. Another thing that I want to talk about right now, while we're on this thing, is PC compatibility. Is some of these games that I've actually got into to try, they'll recognize the T598 as a Thrustmaster wheel, but they are recognizing it as a belt-driven wheel and automatically applying a 20%. Now, this has been a few games, a 20% dead zone for the steering and like all of the other stuff. So like, you're automatically out the gate with a dead zone, and it made a lot of games feel kind of wonky. But once I figured that out, I actually figured that out on Dirt Rally 2.0. So I had to go back in there and set that up, and there's a few more games that I need to go back and test that the steering felt kind of off. I kind of feel like that is the problem. So once I get that figured out, I should be able to get that situated pretty easily. Now, the driving experience with the T598. Now, you guys know that like one of the games that I absolutely love on the PlayStation is Gran Turismo 7. And up till I got the TGT2, I was having a hard time finding a wheelbase or even settings in my Fanatec or anything else that would make that experience playable to the point where I was like, yeah, I like playing this. The TGT2 is the first wheel to actually deliver an incredible experience on that. The Thrustmaster T598 is kind of lacking at the moment. There are some, you know, not necessarily issues. I mean, it feels pretty in line with what I can do on my Fanatec or anything else. But you are going to notice if you're coming from a belt drive wheel over to the T598, you are going to notice things that are going to make that experience different. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try to, you know, like I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to review things that are not available at the time of doing that, but there's some technology in the Thrustmaster T598 wheelbase that potentially can enhance the quality of that experience, but we are still currently waiting on a patch from Thrustmaster integrating the T598. Also, we're waiting for the patch to integrate PlayStation 5 Pro support. That's the console that I've actually been doing most of my testing on this with, is the PlayStation 5 Pro. So when I look at that, the experience driving on the console has been kind of hit or miss, to be completely honest with you. Some games it feels fine, some games it feels like it needs a little bit of work, and then other games just, you know, are not feeling up to par in what you would expect from a brand new wheelbase that's out on the market, especially on a DD. Some of the stuff kind of feels a little bit lacking in terms of the experience that I've had with other DD wheels, but overall, the experience is pretty close to in line with that. I think a lot of it just really comes down to software being updated and, you know, wheelbase being updated, stuff like that. Like, that's pretty much where I think that is. And like I said, I'm not trying to, you know, make excuses or any of that kind of stuff for Thrustmaster. This is something that obviously they felt that this was a good idea or a good time to put this wheelbase out there and let it go out to the market. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. If you're coming from a T150, a T300, if you're coming from like an entry-level wheelbase or something like before, like, I don't think you're going to notice the difference. You're going to be so blown away by the way that that direct drive feels that you're going to turn your nose up like all the rest of the snobby people and be like, no, direct drive is the best. Direct drive is an incredible experience. I love direct drive. But I don't think it's necessary to kick belt-driven wheels, because that TGT2 absolutely puts out one heck of a freaking fight towards my Fanatec and this, in my opinion. So on the console side of things, yes, you're still waiting for a little bit of support. Obviously, it'll come, you know, in due time. Hopefully it's not a long time. I don't want you to have an experience that could potentially push you away from direct drive or sim racing in general. But the settings that I've been able to play around with, for the most part, this review is mainly focused on the plug and play experience. You guys know I do that on all the wheelbases that I cover. I always try to do a plug and play experience, because when I think of console sim racing, I think of the casual gamer that doesn't know much, that just wants to get in and like plug it in and play. That's what I imagine, because that's what I was when I first got into sim racing. When I first got into sim racing, that was my mindset. I got into it thinking, all right, yeah, I just want something I can plug and play, and it worked. With the T598 actually having the ability to set up settings, and this first was launched on the T248, being able to get in there and play around with settings and set things up. It is pretty similar to that. I think this is a little bit more in depth. This is definitely more in depth, but it's pretty similar to a T248. So if you've got a T248 right now, you're probably already well adept in how to set up the settings for the T598. So that would be a pretty decent upgrade for you. I would say honestly, guys, the Thrustmaster T598 absolutely does replace a lot of that entry-level stuff for Thrustmaster. It really does, especially, you know, with the sport car rim and the Raceline pedals. These pedals are absolutely incredible. These are probably some of the better entry-level wheel pedals or wheelbase pedals that I've actually used in a very long time. They feel good. They have nice travel to them. It feels really nice to actually be able to utilize these and have have like the stability of how the pedal feels, to be able to have that adjustability. Like I said in the unboxing video, you can actually adjust these things to different levels of you know, being able to actually put them in a different position and stuff. So that right there actually adds to the overall experience with this. You can also do that with the throttle pedal. You can make it a lot more squishy, a lot softer if that's something that you want to do, like if you're racing on the carpet. So it does give you that ability. There is another spring that actually comes with the brake pedals, so that you can actually make that a lot softer if that's something that interests you as well. But the spacing on these and everything actually feels pretty good. I actually like the spacing on that. That's how I mounted them on the rig, and being able to, you know, because when you're sim racing, you're gonna be using both feet either way. So that spacing was actually pretty nice, very comfortable to use. I did like that. I thought that was a very nice touch for them to actually bring that out. Metal plate, metal construction, plastic freaking foot pedals, so it actually feels pretty decent with your socks on. Not a big deal. When we look at the sports car rim, now this here is probably, and you've probably seen this in a lot of other reviews, that this is probably everybody's least favorite part of this package. And yeah, like it is. This is designed to be cheap, so that they can sell you this for $500. This is cheap. And that's why I have these other wheels that are over here that we're going to be talking about during this review too, because I've actually had the ability to test multiple wheel rims with the T598, so that I've been able to get a better experience. And I've also used the TLCM pedals, and I've also used the T3PM pedals that came with the T248 on this wheelbase. That's actually what's mounted to the plate right now, is the T3PM Pro pedals that I was using with it last night while doing some more testing. I've spent a lot of time on this wheel since Friday. I've spent a lot of time on this, between taking it in the living room, having it in here, just sitting here doing a lot of racing and a lot of fun, making some other racing videos and stuff. You guys have seen some of those already. So yeah, guys, this is probably the weakest part of it. It's not bad. It will get the job done. It definitely does feel like a step in the right direction, at least for their entry-level products and stuff. It feels pretty reminiscent to what you're getting on the T128 and the T248. If you want my honest opinion, this feels in line with those. Maybe a little bit better just due to the hard rubber right here, but the overall, it feels like a hollow wheelbase, so you get that extra, it's almost like it just feels hollow, so I feel like it distributes the force feedback a little bit differently. That's one thing that I absolutely noticed pretty quickly with this wheel while driving with it, is that going from, you know, like the Thrustmaster Evo racing rim that's actually leather and definitely feels like a more solid construction. It feels like it doesn't feel hollow or anything like that. This actually feels really good, nice weighty. When I went to this and I was using that and I could just feel that, I was like, oh man, that is different. That's different. And I was like, oh boy. And immediately I could tell, and I was like, oh gosh. But I mean, if this is the wheel that you come into it with, and this is all you've got, and you don't have the ability to try anything else, I do think that this wheel rim is going to get the job done. But now I want to talk about why I feel like, sorry guys, I needed another drink, man. I just got off work and coming home and trying to get this review out. The Thrustmaster T598 really comes alive when you put more of these premium wheels on there. The first one I actually tried on it was the Evo. I didn't even try this rim first. I tried the Evo. I pulled it off my TGT2. I put the quick release adapter on it that comes with this wheel when you buy it. It actually comes with both. It comes with the old style and the new style, so that you can actually put that on there. This was the first wheel I tried on it, because this was the last wheel that I tried on the T248, and the first game that I tried was Gran Turismo 7. So I wanted to see how the experience transferred across from each wheel. And to tell you the truth, guys, the overall feedback and stuff was good. I was like, man, I like this. I like the way this feels. I do like this, you know. And then I had to quickly put the sport car rim on there because I was like, okay, I need to try this. And from that moment forward, guys, I was just like, oh my gosh, man, like it would be hard for me to actively choose the sport car rim to actually use on that base, because this base is premium. Like this base is premium. You can tell that like when you look at the wheel and you look at the pedals, you're like, okay, I get it. Like I understand why the wheel and the pedals might not look like they are higher quality, and that is because all of that went into this wheelbase. Every single bit of that went into this wheelbase. These here are basically basic to get you up and running, and I don't feel like that's fair to say, because I really do like these pedals. I think these pedals are actually some of the better ones that I have used as an entry-level pack, and it's crazy. I do like the T3PM pedals too. Those are absolutely incredible. I mean, you can interchange those. If you've already got a T248, you already know what those pedals feel like, and you can actually use those with this wheelbase. The TLCM, like all of Thrustmaster's pedals are absolutely compatible with this. But like I was saying, guys, and then, you know, you got like the Thrustmaster, you got the Thrustmaster Hypercar wheel, which is very, very premium feeling. And these two wheelbases, these two wheels actually, they catapult the T598, for me, at least for me, into a different category of wheelbase. These two wheels take this base into a more premium experience for me, and I absolutely love that. And when I paired it with the TLCMs and I had it on the rig, and I was just like, wow, man, this is good. This is a really good experience. But, you know, it also does depend a lot on the overall experience when it comes to the actual games themselves. And I tested this on a lot of racing games, and I would say that the compatibility is there. Like, obviously I could get it running with basically everything aside from, you know, the little, you know, having to get in there and get rid of dead zones and stuff like that. There is a lot of getting into this and actually setting some of this stuff up. It's not all one-to-one. It's not like it doesn't just work like you would plug in a TGT2 and it just works. Like, no, there is some settings that you're going to have to go into, and that's like that with all direct drive wheelbases. Like, there is no one size fits all for most games. Like, you're going to have to start becoming more adept to playing around with settings and learning those settings and like actually, you know, doing things that you might not feel comfortable with at first. And I mean, if this is your first wheel, oh my gosh, man, that is something that, like, at least you're going to get in there and you'll be learning from day one how to do all of this stuff. But you know, there's a lot of help out there. There's a lot of sim racers out there. There's a lot of information out there to really help you. With this being such a new product, you're still going to be waiting for some of us to like play around with it. I plan on using this as my daily driver for at least the next 30 days. For at least the next 30 days minimum, this is going to be my direct drive wheel, and I will be making content for other games and finding settings and stuff like that. So you're just going to have to wait. Like, I've got another video coming up here pretty soon. We're going to be comparing the T598 to the Fanatec DD Pro. We're going to be comparing it to the TGT2. Like, we're going to be doing some good testing with this. So overall, guys, I definitely think this is an incredible value for what you get. I do think the $500 price tag is more than fair for this. And once we start seeing some of those games trickle out with absolute that are built, you know, like the settings and everything are built and programmed and all of that stuff, and we're utilizing the features, it's going to become an even better value, so to speak. Like, right now, the way it is a good value. Like, this is pretty dang good. It works with every game that I've played. It has pretty decent compatibility on PlayStation 5. It works incredibly on PC once you get that set up. And then when I get into some of these games, like for me right now, absolutely, this feels incredible for Rally. EA Sports WRC, Dirt Rally 2.0, and, you know, some of the other Rally games. WRC Generations didn't feel that great, but I still need to get in there and play around with settings. The plug and play experience didn't feel that great, but I will be going back to a lot of that stuff and like really figuring it out, sitting there, putting some time into it. So overall, guys, I can definitely recommend this wheel. If you're coming from a TGT2, I would hang on to your TGT2, but I would definitely invest in this as well. And then, you know, maybe get some of the adapters so that you can use your wheel rims and stuff like that and be able to move them back and forth, because I feel like as the T598 starts to mature, this thing is gonna be incredible. Like when I'm sitting there and I'm racing and I'm feeling like the gear jolt, and I'm like, dang, that feels good. Like I can feel that in the pedals, and I'm like, this is good. Or when I'm using it with, because I usually map my my e-brake to one of my paddle shifters when I'm rally racing, and so when I'm hitting that on like EA Play, EA Sports WRC, and like I can feel the jolt, like I'm hitting like the brake too. It's like, dang, that is cool. Like that's cool. And if we can get more features like that, like when Harmony starts actually being used, and we get that harmonic vibration and stuff that's actually programmed through the sound and stuff into your cockpit, which is going to give you like that sensation of like having a butt kicker and stuff. I'm super excited for that kind of stuff. Like I'm excited for that. Like it doesn't have it now, but when it has it, it's going to make this base a better value. The overshoot capacity, I like it better with this rim and the hypercar rim. I feel like it feels better and it distributes the forces a lot better with these bigger rims. Like it feels more natural. Whereas this one here, I mean, you can feel it, and I feel like that's the reason a lot of the other guys don't really, you know, are maybe not, you know, like, but like you can feel it, and it just, like I said, with the hollow wheel, it kind of feels a little bit different, but it feels more natural and more just, it feels better. It feels more refined on a higher, more premium wheel rim. So overall, guys, like I said, I feel like the T598 is a good upgrade, especially if you're on a belt-driven wheel. You are definitely going for a new technology. You're getting something that is actually pretty dang good. The fact that there's no cogging or any of that kind of stuff in this wheelbase, and the fact that like you can do the controlled overshoots, like this is cool. Like this is very, and I've been saying this since I started covering the T598. This is very interesting. And I'm glad that I get to be here on the front lines, testing this technology out and growing with it as new updates and all of that start to come out. I definitely feel like, I mean, honestly, guys, knowing what I know now about the T598, I would have just pre-ordered it myself. But Thrustmaster had already said they were going to send one out to me. So I was just like, gosh, what do I do? What do I do? And so I just waited. I just waited for them to send it out. But knowing what I know now, I absolutely would have spent my own money on this, so I don't feel bad recommending it at all. I feel like it's a solid, incredible product. Even if it didn't change what it is right now for like the next 6 months, I'm not saying it's going to take 6 months, but even if it didn't change for the next 6 months, I could still utilize this as my daily driver, still having fun and still using it in all the racing games that I'm playing. It feels really good on Gran Turismo with the hypercar rim. I actually like that, but you definitely are losing some of that feeling that you would be getting with a belt-driven wheel. So, all right, my friends, I think that about covers this wheelbase. I'll be making content with it for the next 30 days. I will be making specific targeted content for games and for settings on the wheelbase. So keep in touch. I mean, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and make sure you're there for these uploads so that you can get your questions answered. And in the comments section, if you watch these videos, let me know. Hey man, like I got this game and I want to know how to do this, stuff like that. Like give me these ideas of like the people that say stuff in the comments section are more likely to get a faster response from me from that video, because instead of me having to sit and think stuff up, I'll have purpose, faster, trying to do what I can to make your experience better. So yes, hit me up. Let me know what you guys want to see and what you guys want. Because other than that, I'm going to be starting with Gran Turismo. I'm going to be working my way through EA Sports WRC, through all my rally games are probably going to get more attention first. Then we'll be working on over to Assetto Corsa. And you know, the list is long. I've got a lot of games on PlayStation 5, and I've got a lot of freaking racing games over on the PC. And I'm actually considering buying more just to be able to test these out. So All right, my friends, if you guys like this content, do not forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.